Is there an aspect of consideration in the sense that when you are making up your lines, then you consider your audience too, you consider who you are trying to address, in the sense you come up with something simple, conveyable, easy, straight to the point?
How the language I use, how I choose it, I actually just use the simple English I speak every day. In terms of writing in Kiswahili,
You write Swahili?
No, not yet. I've not written any in Kiswahili. Someone told me to do something like that, but I usually put words that even if you're not that conversant with English, you'd still get something, and I won't leave the stage and you haven't gotten anything. So I currently just write in English. In Kiswahili, I'll try and endeavor on that more, but basically that's it.
Okay. Yes. Then we have the finished product here, but tell us about the intonation. You know, there's a point that you rise your voices up, then your voices down. Intonation very important, and then the aesthetics, making up of those lines. I mean, how do you incorporate the ups and downs, or the different, I mean, intonation points in a line or in a spoken word? Is it important to consider that?
Yeah, it's very important. First and foremost, if there's something I wrote and I'm like, this will make people clap, or it's meant to impress, I'd go on it quite slowly. I won't rush through it like the rest. So I'll reach that point and I'll go slowly. And second, I consider now the instrumentals that are playing behind me, because whether you know it or not, you'll just find at some point you're going together with the instrumentals that are playing behind you. So whether they're going fast, you'll find I'll go fast. If they're slow instrumentals, I'll just be in sync with them.
Yes. And how important are they? Because do they act like the casa, or the important are instrumentals in poetry, spoken word, the atlas, perhaps giving the direction to what you have to say, when and how?
Actually, it's not a must to use them when you're performing, but they keep the ear busy. That's now what my brother told me. I started incorporating them a lot in my spoken words after performing. Usually I perform in our teens church every Sunday. And I noticed that when I'm performing with instrumentals and when I'm not performing with instrumentals, when the instrumentals are playing, people are more attentive. That is, even if you're not getting what I'm saying, the instrumental behind me has already taken you away. So that's when I incorporated it. It's not a must, it's just to keep the ear busy while you're listening to what's being said. Yes.
Okay, most important again, how does it open up the entire aspect of creativity in one? Because it involves many aspects, the incorporation of different words to bring out a different message. How does it therefore supplement or spice up the already intelligence God has inculcated in human beings or created in humans? Because it once you endeavor in that or delve into that, dissecting it takes time, but coming up with that message is hard, perhaps at times challenging or complex at times. But again, how does it help you in terms of boosting your intelligence on your level and also on the levels of others?
In terms of instrumentals now, first of all, there are people who write listening to the background instrumentals. There are those who write first and then go and look for the instrumentals that will go with it. So the latter. I first and foremost write, consider all those various aspects, and then I look now for something in which goes together with the words I'm saying. And if I don't find any, I'll just come and do it. I'll just come and speak like I'm saying a speech or something, but now I'm performing. And so I don't write listening to them, but I write, then go look for them later. Yes.
And does it also mean that, we'll come to that in a bit too, does it mean then there is need for you to be driven by talent before you venture into that? I mean, you do it freestyle without instrumentals at times, and is it talent driven?
Yeah, to me I'd say it's talent driven, because even the way it started, you know how my definition of talent is something you can just do easily, something you find fun to do. Because other people would be like, Elijah, how do you write this spoken words?
Or end up struggling.
Yeah, how do you write spoken words? But I'm like, I don't struggle writing these things, it just comes. So I consider it as a talent, or maybe most probably a gift, because it started something you can't explain how it started, so it just started. So yeah, it's majorly driven by talent.
A gift from God, but needs hard work too, because you need to sculpture yourself to become more or chisel or more sophisticated. Okay, heading towards the final minutes of the program before you, I leave the stage and allow you to perform. Given that there are many Kenyans who are at the moment more specified when it comes to spoken word poetry, at times it's a natural talent God inculcates in someone, but it's important to ensure that you do take the educative part, be guided or counseled what to do, what not, when and how. Yep. Therefore, do you have a counselor back home and somebody who instructs you in the sense that he acts as your direction, he acts as your director, perhaps like I have a director on my show, yep, so that I don't go wayward off the topic, veer off the topic. Do you have someone who guides you as your precursor to the extent that he makes you sharp, to the extent he makes you well chiseled and you appear to be more sophisticated in your own field of expertise?
Yes, actually my brother does that, my big brother, Joshua Folorun, so he's a graphic designer. So before I perform something somewhere, I send him the words and the instrumentals that will accompany it. Or sometimes I'll just tell him I'm going to do this spoken word and this is how it's going to start. So there's a day I wanted to quote John Lennon in church. And that's when he told me, by the way, John Lennon was an antichrist. So after that, now I began noticing the importance of telling people before you go and perform. And yes, so I usually tell him, he guides me. He doesn't give me the words or tells me which language to use. He just looks at it and he'll be like, okay, it's good to go, or maybe you can change this or that, yes.
Okay. Before I leave the set to you to perform for our viewers, the performance you're going to be showing us here,
yes,
what is it all about? What message will you try to convey?
Okay. Its title is I Was Thinking. Basically, it just explains everything about it. I was just basically thinking of things that are happening now in the society. I was looking for this spoken word that accompanies maybe both genders, and I can perform it anywhere, mostly that. I can perform it anywhere, whether in church, at home, or maybe at school. So I put that in mind, and I looked at the issues that are now disturbing us youth, especially teenagers, because I'm a teenager. And yeah, so I began thinking, and I put those ideas on a paper, and it became a spoken word.
Well, I leave that, as a discussion for another day, but it's also worthy or important to talk about aspects that affect the young people in the country, because there are many who do so, and we also have the policymakers who are making them at the center, who are putting them at the center of discussion at the moment because of the problems they undergo. Thank you so much for coming on board New Day Kenya this morning, Elijah Light. I am Ayub Abdikadir Abdi. I thank you for accompanying me for the last 1 hour and 48 minutes on New Day KE. We turn things down on this Friday as we usher into the weekend. Had lots of political discussion pertaining how the country is steered, but I leave Elijah on the set. For me and the team here, we'll see you on Monday next week. Good day.
I was thinking, like Dr. Martin Luther King did, only that he was dreaming. And this came when I was blinking, staring at the ceiling. Then my mind started screaming these feelings. Have you ever asked yourself what would happen if one day these phones suddenly stopped ringing and we went back to simple things, let's say milking? You see, nowadays we just sit back and stare at the TV, watch other people make their money kicking while we recline drinking, because apparently that's a definition of being free. Pay for permanent black ink, put on tight jeans, a see-through so people can see this. Oh, I almost forgot the bling bling, and then you walk around feeling like a kingpin. What is life? It's harder than trying to combine a philosophy with a methodology that are few in our heads but surprisingly full in our diaries, most of which we ignore like Jeremiah's prophecies. To be brief, you're easily carried away by mere things like a leaf falling from a tree due to a small breeze. 98% of you got lost on the way, right? I'll tell you why. It's because you're too focused on earthly things, always trying to make ends meet, too concerned of other people's lives and maintaining maintaining a good image on the outside so that we meet the demands of the public eye, always trying to maintain that so-called perfect life on things like Facebook, and forget to face the book that books your face a place in heaven. Brethren, the race is one, singular, but the contestants are more than one, plural, equals many. Get me? Why walk around complaining of, oh, how people hate me? Low class is where they rate me. Out of 10, 1, 2, 3 stars maybe. I don't really care because they didn't create me. Look at this. Mom was the first one to feel and notice me, but he knew and ordained me, neither to preach nor to teach, but to reach out to even one shattered heart and plant a seed that will enable you to rebuild. So take heed. Some of you cry every day. That will never stop the devil from looking for prayer. You think you have a say? No. It's the reason you pray every day and at the end deliver it by his name. Otherwise, he'll still come for his claims, and guess what? You'll be the only one to blame. So don't take life like a game. If so, make sure you're the winner. Otherwise, you may never get out of that dark frame that constantly puts you in pain. The answer to your prayer may be delayed, but don't be dismayed or feel like you've been played. It's on the way. Just follow the right path and it will shine brighter and brighter until the perfect day. Live life with a smile on your face. He's on your case, but know what you go to do in those holy places. And with that, I rest my case. Time for me to pace. God loves you.